I'm still new enough as a truck driver that I remember what it was like to try and choose what was the best truck company for me. I've just started my third year with the same company that I started with. I've been very satisfied, happy with the company. It's Holland, but I go online and I listen to people talk about how you go about choosing a trucking company. Ask what accounts do they have in your area. Asking what is the pet policy for having pets. What is the per mile rate? What sort of home time can you give me? And these are all important things, but let me tell you, if I were to talk to one of my sons and they were thinking about driving a truck, the things that the simple way, in my opinion, to go about choosing what company to drive for. One, simple as pie. Is it a Teamster Union shop? If it is, you will get pay, benefits, respect, and job security far more than if it is a non-union shop. You might call your local Teamsters Union and ask what shops, what companies are Teamsters. I know UPS is, and of course Holland is. That's YRC is. Holland is a subsidiary now of YRC. But my experience throughout my life and with trucking, the horror stories I hear of drivers with driving for non-union trucking companies, and you can just save yourself heartache by asking that question first. Secondly, we live in the United States. I do. What's one of the most important things in the United States? The cost of medical care and the cost of medical insurance. In the United States, these things are provided through your employer. If you're dealing with a Teamster shop, odds are very good that your employer is going to provide the medical insurance and you will not have to pay premiums for it, and it will cover you and your wife and your children up to age 26. This is extremely important. You can be wiped out by a medical bill. And and if you call company, any trucking company. I remember when I was looking around at different companies and didn't know anything about different companies, and I'd say, tell me about your medical insurance. They didn't know. I was talking to a recruiter who worked in the office. Their medical insurance was totally different than the truck driver's insurance. They were on a different level, a different plane, a different medical insurance coverage. They don't know what the co-pays, what the deductible, what sort of PPO or HMO, what sort of drug coverage there is. Medical insurance is extremely complicated. When I first walked into Holland and did my initial driving test, they just take you a couple of times out in local roads just to see if you can drive at all. And I just asked the man who was sitting next to me, what's your medical insurance like? He said, we have good medical insurance. That's all I needed to know. I don't have the mental bandwidth to remember you telling me all about the different complicated ins and outs of your insurance policy. You've used it. Has it been satisfactory? Has it worked for you? Yes, this is good. The other thing that I'm sorry, number 3. Honestly, the best thing you can do is talk to one of the drivers of the company that you're dealing with. And so the other thing that this driver told me on my first day, when I was talking to him and he was driving me around, that is, I was driving him around, he said, people who come on to work here, they don't leave. We have tons and tons of drivers who have been here for decades. They don't leave. There's lots of people that complain unions aren't what they used to be. No, they aren't. And the reason for that is that the industry is not unionized. The trucking industry, well, that's a different topic, but if you want to really benefit from a union, your entire industry sector has to be unionized. When UPS and YRC are two big companies, but they're only 2 companies, and they're part of Teamsters, and a lot of other companies are not, then you don't get the extent of benefits. And so these old guys that I worked with who have been driving trucks for 30 years, they remember the old days when you could make a lot of money. And I think a lot of them kept false driver logs also. And I heard that was a way you could make extra money, which you can't really do now with the electronic logging devices. So those are 3 things. You don't care if you can take a dog with you. If that's your most important thing, I don't know. And real honestly, another thing that doesn't matter to me, I'm governed to 63. I don't care. Let everybody else pass me. I'll try to get out of everybody's way. I'll slow down if it helps people to pass, whatever. But the thing that's most important to me is I'm home every day. It is now, I started work at 12 last night. It's 8 o'clock. Looks like I have another 45 minutes before I'll be, 45 minutes before I'll be at the terminal, and then I go home. After taxes, after all withdrawals and taxes, my wife gets on average $11.50 a week. Just to be real open and honest, I have one of the cheapest routes because I don't want to work hard. I'm home every day. I'm home every weekend. 9 holidays, 9 paid holidays, 12 paid vacation days, and remember, I'm only my 3rd year. Birthday paid off, personal day paid off, only 1, but whatever. Did I already say sick days? 5 sick days a year, or is it 6 paid? Anyway, there is a pension. And again, the old guys go, boy, the pension isn't what it used to be. The other places don't have a pension. They might have a 401k that won't have any money in it when you retire. So these are things I think are essential. First, just ask, is it a Teamster shop? If it is, in my opinion, that matters more than anything else. Yes, you'll pay $700 a year in union dues, about $60 a month. Nobody can harass you. You get respect. Your benefits are so much better. Your pay is strong. I don't know if I get the best pay in the world, but I don't work hard, as I've repeatedly said. Nobody can just say, well, we've decided to let you go. And route assignments are based on seniority. Hello, Mr. Kia car. Route assignments are based on seniority. We're coming up. I just heard today, my route's being canceled. Do I care? It's just a route. There's a bunch of other routes. I've been here for 3 years. I have a tiny bit of seniority, more than some of the other guys. So I'll probably have some options insofar as other routes to take, and I can pick the one that's right for me. There's no favoritism. The union steward calls each person in line in order of seniority, and there are two. And for some reason, if I'm kicked back onto the board, in other words, being gone all week and coming home every weekend, as I did for about 2 months when I first started, before I got a bid. But if that happens, 2 more people are retiring. And as soon as they retire, then chunk, I'll have more options to work upward, if you understand what I mean, because it's based on seniority. So I don't know if I'm wandering. Please, whatever you do not listen to sign-on bonuses. I have not seen one yet that is not a cheat. They are not sign-on bonuses. They are retention awards. They call them sign-on bonuses, and then you get one at 6 months, one at 1 year, and one at 18 months. That is not a sign-on bonus. A sign-on bonus is money you get for signing on, and then that company is so committed to its drivers, so sure that it's offering a great working environment for its drivers, that it is confident that once a driver signs on, he'll stay. But I've never seen one yet. I've never seen a real, honest to goodness sign-on bonus. The company that I almost went to before I came to Holland was offering a $10,000 sign-on bonus until you got there and you had filled out the paperwork, and then they let you know that the sign-on bonus, that $10,000 sign-on bonus, was paid out over 2 years, and that it could still be cut down if the little jigger in the car found out that you applied the brake at some point. Ting! That's a ding off your sign-on bonus. So it's really a retention safety bonus. Okay. Yeah, and that was pulling doubles, and you were out in the snow, moving the dolly around, and I only went one night, and then the cost there, the amount that you had to pay the company in order for your wife and children to be covered for the medical insurance was $10,000 a year. Sickening. So yes, is it a union shop? Tell me, what's the medical insurance like? Because you live in the United States, and medical insurance is so important. You may not think so, and maybe if you're just a young person and you're all by yourself and you don't care, and get me on the road, and I don't want to be home. I want to live in my truck. Well, then we have different priorities, but if you've got a wife, people say over the road kills marriages. I've seen it over and over again. People get greedy, they want to make more money, and you can. by going over the road. But if you never see your wife and children, that's murder on a marriage, and you've got more important parts of your life to take care of. So if at all possible, two things is just to ask one of the drivers, just to ask, is it a union shop? And just talk to one of the drivers. Simple as pie. And if you talk to a driver who's a complainer, they'll still try to be honest with you and upfront, and ask that driver about the medical if he's had a good experience. You don't want a guy who says, "Oh yeah, we have medical, but there's a million forms you have to fill out, and they're always saying, oh, your claim exceeds the reasonable and customary charge for this procedure. Oh no, we don't cover this medication." Anyway, those are some things I think could be simple ways to find out about a company that you might want to drive, for whom you might want to drive.